The Galactic Federation, a powerful empire stretching across the stars, was confident in its superiority. Its fleets had conquered countless worlds, its technology was unmatched, and its leaders were unshaken by any threat. But then, the Federation received a distress signal that would shake its foundations to the core. A small, unimportant colony on the edge of the Federation's vast territory was under attack. Unknown ships. They're small. We can't identify them. We're losing ground. The frantic message screamed. The alien colony's defenders had already started sending emergency signals, and it was clear that something was terribly wrong. But who would dare challenge the might of the Federation? Surely it couldn't be the humans. In the vast galactic Senate, the leaders of the Federation watched the message in silence, their faces blank with disbelief. Then, a cold chuckle broke the stillness. Humans? They can't even touch our outposts. They're insects, nothing more, one of the high-ranking alien officials scoffed. The room filled with laughter. The humans, mere earthlings, were far beneath the Federation's concern. Their technology was primitive, their armies small. They had no chance against the Federation's power. The smug confidence was evident in every alien face, and they mocked the very idea of humans being able to pose any kind of threat. The Federation had crushed larger, more dangerous species, and now the humans were just a footnote in the galaxy's history. There was no reason to be alarmed. But while the Senate chuckled and dismissed the humans as insignificant far away on Earth, something very different was happening. In a dark and sterile government building, the leaders of the United Earth government were gathered in a conference room. The somber atmosphere was a stark contrast to the Federation's arrogance. On a screen, the broadcast from the alien invaders played, alien ships firing on human cities, the screams of innocence, the endless carnage. The Federation had made a grave mistake, and it was now evident in every frame. The loss was catastrophic, and millions of innocent lives were lost in the brutal attack. The leaders of Earth were silent, their faces pale and grim. But in their eyes, there was a fire, a resolve. They had been underestimating the Federation's power for far too long, but now the tables were about to turn. One of the senior generals, a seasoned war hero who had seen too many battles to count, stood up. His voice, low and cold, cut through the room. "They made a mistake," he whispered, his eyes locked onto the screen. "Now, we'll show them what fury means." The room fell silent. The gravity of his words sank in, and the tension in the air was palpable. The aliens thought humanity was weak, that they could be crushed without a second thought. But they had no idea what they were dealing with. Cut to the surface of the colony, where the Federation's invaders were wreaking havoc. The planet was burning. Massive explosions rocked the landscape, and the sky was filled with the deadly glow of laser fire. On the ground, one soldier stood in the middle of the chaos. His name was Bonner, and he was part of the human forces sent to protect the colony. His helmet cam displayed the horror unfolding around him. Innocent families were being torn apart, their homes turned to ash. Children cried for their parents as aliens stormed through the streets, their weapons blasting everything in sight. Bonner's voice crackled through the comms as he gave his final transmission. "We'll never forget. Never forgive." His last words were spoken with a sense of finality, a vow that would echo across the stars. The Federation had made a mistake, and humanity would make them pay for it. As the signal went silent, the camera zoomed in on Bonner's face. His eyes were filled with grief, but beneath that grief, there was a burning fury. He knew this was not the end. It was just the beginning. Back on Earth, the government and military leaders watched as Bonner's transmission ended, but there was no mourning. The time for grief was over. The humans had been provoked, and now they were preparing for the most intense retaliation in the galaxy's history. The Federation believed they had crushed humanity. They thought they had broken their spirit. But what they didn't know was that humanity was far from broken. In the shadow of Earth's atmosphere, cloaked warships began to take flight, their advanced cloaking technology rendering them invisible to the enemy sensors. One by one, these ships disappeared into the vastness of space. On board each ship, soldiers and commanders were preparing for war. Their mission was clear. They would make the Federation pay for what they had done to Earth, and they would do it on their own terms. As the ships silently moved into formation, their commanders activated the communication systems, sending a single message to every ship in the fleet: make them pay. And with that, the human response began. The Federation had no idea what was coming. They believed their dominance was absolute, that they were untouchable. But in the quiet silence of space, humanity was gathering their strength, ready to show the universe what it meant to anger them. The stakes were higher than ever before, and the Federation had just made the fatal mistake of underestimating Earth's wrath. Now, it was too late to turn back. Deep in the vastness of space, the Galactic Federation celebrated what they thought would be a simple victory. Their massive fleets, each ship towering like a fortress, floated peacefully through the stars. The Federation's commanders were proud, and they made sure everyone knew it. From the viewports of their enormous capital ships, they gazed out at Earth, a planet now subdued, its cities in ruins, and its people crushed under their superior might. It was a moment of triumph for the Federation, or so they believed. They had wiped out the last traces of resistance on Earth, and with their immense firepower, the planet was theirs for the taking. Alien commanders stood tall in their lavish war rooms, boasting on live broadcasts about their victory over humanity. They spoke of Earth as if it were nothing more than a small insect under their boots. It wasn't just a defeat for Earth. To them, it was the end of the human race. The Federation had crushed humanity's pride, and now they were looking forward to basking in the fruits of their conquest. But back on Earth, the situation was far from what the Federation fought. The United Earth government had not bowed in defeat. No, they were preparing for something much greater than the Federation could imagine. On the surface of the planet, the world's leaders and military commanders had been working in secret, away from the prying eyes of the aliens. They had spent every moment since the attack preparing their response. They had learned from their enemies, and they were ready to show the galaxy what true power looked like. The human fleet was a sight to behold. Unlike the Federation's brute strength, humanity's forces were silent and deadly. AI-controlled warships, equipped with the latest cloaking technology, sat in Earth's orbit, waiting for their moment. These ships could vanish from enemy radar, making them nearly invisible to the Federation's advanced sensors. Alongside them, precision drones, each one capable of dealing devastating blows, sat in their docking bays, ready to be deployed at a moment's notice. In a dark command center deep beneath Earth's surface, the orders were given. Activate Project Nemesis, the human fleet's commander ordered. The words were simple, but they held the weight of humanity's survival. Project Nemesis was the final plan, the trump card the Federation never saw coming. The ground trembled as massive orbital bombardment cannons, hidden for years in the shadow of the moon, were powered up. These weapons, capable of destroying entire cities with a single shot, were humanity's answer to the Federation's invincibility. The human fleet was ready. Soldiers suited up in high-tech exosuits, their bodies encased in armor stronger than anything the Federation had ever seen. These suits were designed for the harshest environments, capable of surviving the vacuum of space and the extreme conditions of battle. AI-powered robots, standing tall and silent, lined up beside their human counterparts. These machines were the perfect soldiers, strong, precise, and programmed with a single goal: to destroy the enemy. And yet, despite the incredible firepower and advanced technology, the fleet went radio silent. There were no words, no threats. The humans had said all they needed to say. Now, it was time for action. The Federation had underestimated humanity before, and now they would learn the hard way that humans were not to be taken lightly. On the other side of the galaxy, an alien scout ship, part of the Federation's surveillance network, was making its routine pass over Earth's orbit. The crew was busy with their task, tracking Earth's movements, ensuring that no surprises awaited the Federation. Their scanners swept the area, expecting to find Earth's weak and defeated forces waiting for their inevitable destruction. But something was wrong. The scout ship's sensors detected nothing. No heat signatures, no movement. Earth was supposed to be there, sitting quietly under the watchful eye of the Federation's ships. But there was nothing. The empty space where the planet once was seemed to mock them. "This cannot be right," the scout's lead officer muttered, staring in disbelief at the empty spot where Earth should have been. "Earth is gone." A chilling silence fell over the scout crew. The lead officer issued commands to recheck the scanners, but it was clear. Earth had disappeared. At that exact moment, the Federation's fleet, confident in their victory, began to approach Earth's orbit. They expected to find the humans broken, their will shattered, ready to surrender. Their ships cruised through space without hesitation, the alien commanders inside preparing for the final phase of their conquest. They believed the humans were done for. They believed they had won. But what they didn't realize was that they were walking right into a trap. Far beneath the silence of space, in the darkened depths of Earth's orbit, the human fleet had positioned themselves perfectly. Their cloaking technology kept them invisible to the Federation's scanners. The alien ships drew closer, expecting nothing but an easy victory. The humans waited, their breaths held in the quiet of space. The seconds ticked by, and tension built to a breaking point. The Federation was entering Earth's orbit, unaware that they were about to face the full might of humanity's wrath. The human fleet, hidden in plain sight, stood poised for the perfect moment to strike. But the Federation ships didn't know that yet. They were too confident, too sure of themselves. The trap was set. Humanity had been underestimated once more. The Federation believed they had broken the human spirit, but in reality, they had only awakened a beast that was about to strike back with a vengeance. And so, in the silence of space, the stage was set. The Federation had no idea that they were about to step into the most dangerous battle of their existence. The calm before the storm was over, and the storm was about to hit with the full force of humanity's fury. The Federation's fate was sealed, and humanity was ready to show them what true power looked like. The game was about to change, and the Federation would learn that underestimating Earth was the biggest mistake they had ever made. As the Federation fleet drew closer to Earth's atmosphere, the commanders inside their massive ships remained confident, believing they had won. The overwhelming silence from Earth only confirmed their belief. They thought humanity was defeated, broken, ready to surrender without a fight. But they were wrong. They were walking straight into the trap that humanity had set for them. The moment the first of the alien ships crossed the threshold into Earth's orbit, the trap sprang into action. Suddenly, out of nowhere, cloaked warships appeared, their sleek designs cutting through the emptiness of space. The Federation fleet, caught off guard, barely had time to react before the humans launched their devastating counterattack. The first blow came in the form of railguns and laser arrays that unleashed a hail of high-velocity projectiles, slamming into the alien hulls with brutal force. The massive warships shook as they were struck, their outer armor denting and cracking under the ferocity of the human assault. The beams of energy cut through the alien ships with surgical precision, melting through their shields and ripping apart their weapon systems. Alien ships began to explode in the vacuum of space, their once proud forms now shattered remnants of what they had been. At the same time, AI-controlled drones swarmed the Federation fleet. These nimble machines, built for speed and precision, darted through space like a cloud of deadly bees. Their sharp metallic bodies tore through the alien ships, slicing through the hulls as if they were nothing more than paper. Each drone was an expert in its craft, programmed to strike fast and hard, making sure no Federation ship could escape the carnage. In the midst of the chaos, humanity's orbital bombardment cannons roared to life. Positioned in the shadow of the moon, these massive weapons had remained hidden until now, and their power was unmatched. Beams of energy, brighter than any star, shot out from their barrels, slamming into the Federation fleet. The beams tore through the alien warships with ease, incinerating entire sections of the ships in mere moments. Huge explosions rippled across the alien lines, turning their once indomitable fleet into a wreckage of burning debris. The Federation was in disarray. The shock of being ambushed, the sheer force of the human attack, and the loss of so many ships in a matter of minutes left the aliens stunned and confused. Where did they come from? How? An alien commander screamed, his voice filled with panic. The Federation had underestimated humanity for the last time, and now they were paying the price. On board the flagship of the Federation, chaos erupted. The once imposing command center now felt like a death trap. The alien soldiers scrambled to defend their ship, but they were no match for the relentless onslaught of human forces. Human Marines, led by Captain Bonner's brother, stormed the corridors of the alien vessel, their exosuits and nanite grenades cutting down everything in their path. These soldiers were unstoppable, their training and the advanced technology at their disposal making them the perfect weapons against the alien invaders. The alien soldiers fought back fiercely, but the humans were prepared for this. The exosuits gave the Marines enhanced strength, agility, and protection, allowing them to mow down the enemy with ruthless efficiency. The nanite grenades, small but powerful, released swarms of microscopic machines that ate through alien armor and weapons in seconds. The ship's once immense defenses crumbled under the human assault. As they fought their way through the alien ship, Bonner's brother shouted orders, his voice booming through the chaos. "Push forward. We're not stopping until this ship is ours." His soldiers responded with a roar, their weapons tearing through the enemy lines. Each step was hard-fought, but with every inch of the ship they took, they grew more determined. The fight wasn't just about survival. It was about revenge. It was for Bonner, for all the fallen soldiers, and for every innocent life that had been lost when the Federation first attacked Earth. This is for Bonner, for the fallen. One soldier shouted as he threw a grenade into a cluster of alien soldiers, the explosion sending them flying across the corridor. The emotional weight of his words fueled the soldiers' resolve. They weren't just fighting for their survival. They were fighting for justice, for vengeance, for everything humanity had lost. In the midst of the battle, Bonner's brother found himself face to face with an alien officer, a towering figure clad in advanced combat armor. The two locked eyes, and for a moment, everything else seemed to fade away. The officer's weapon crackled with energy, but Bonner's brother was faster. He lunged forward, using his exosuit's enhanced strength to knock the alien officer to the ground. A brutal exchange of blows followed, each strike landing with bone-shaking force. The officer fought back with fierce determination, but Bonner's brother was driven by the memory of his fallen brother, and nothing would stop him from completing this mission. Finally, with a swift motion, Bonner's brother plunged his energy blade into the officer's chest, ending the fight. As the alien fell to the ground, the human Marines surged forward, taking control of the ship's control center. The flagship was now in human hands. But the victory was bittersweet. As the soldiers moved through the control center, they discovered something alarming. A transmission was sent back to Earth, crackling through the comms. "First Fleet neutralized," the voice said, a hint of triumph in the words. "But they're sending reinforcements. More ships are on the way." The message sent a wave of shock through the human forces. They had won the first battle, but the war was far from over. The Federation was not finished. More ships, more reinforcements, were coming to exact their revenge. Humanity's victory, though sweet, was only the beginning of a much larger conflict. As the Marines regrouped, preparing for the next wave, Bonner's brother turned to his soldiers, his face grim but determined. "This is just the beginning. We have to finish what we started. Let them come." The battle for Earth had just begun, and humanity was ready. The Federation was not a group to accept defeat easily. Their first fleet had been annihilated by humanity's surprise counterattack, But now they were determined to crush Earth's resistance once and for all. The Federation's commanders, seething with rage and embarrassment, made a bold decision. They would send their second fleet, a much larger, far more powerful force. This time, the Federation was bringing everything they had. Their message was clear: crush them. Leave nothing standing. As the massive Federation fleet emerged from hyperspace, their ships blotted out the stars, forming a terrifying armada. The human forces on Earth, having just gained a fleeting victory, now faced an even greater challenge. The air was thick with anticipation, as the Federation was determined to finish the job and show humanity their place in the galaxy. But what the Federation did not know was that humanity had been preparing. Earth had a secret weapon, newly developed eye-controlled warships capable of repairing themselves mid-battle. These ships were a technological marvel, built to withstand immense damage while continuing to fight. Their hulls were coated with advanced materials, and their weapons systems were optimized for maximum destruction. "If they bring fire, we'll bring hell," the human commanders said, the words ringing with the promise of devastation. As the Second Federation fleet closed in, the human fleet readied itself for the coming onslaught. It wasn't just about defense anymore. It was about showing the Federation that Earth would not be bullied into submission. Humanity would not back down. With a deep breath, the human commanders gave the order: engage. The battle began. The skies over Earth erupted in a flash of colors as thousands of ships, both human and alien, clashed in space. The once peaceful expanse of stars was now a battlefield, filled with fire and destruction. The Federation fleet came in strong, their enormous ships armed with planet-destroying weapons and advanced shields. They fired with precision, their ships moving in perfect formation, intent on overwhelming humanity once and for all. But the human response was swift and fierce. The new AI warships immediately deployed swarms of drones, small but deadly, each one programmed to destroy anything in its path. These drones darted through space like a cloud of locusts, targeting alien ships and overwhelming their defenses. They drilled into the hulls of Federation ships, tearing apart their outer layers and causing them to explode in showers of sparks and debris. The Federation ships, though powerful, were not prepared for such a relentless swarm of precision-guided attacks. They struggled to fight off the drones, but each ship was slowly being whittled down, piece by piece. As the Federation continued to fire, launching planet-killer bombs at Earth, humanity proved that they were prepared for everything. Each bomb was intercepted by eye-controlled defense systems that calculated the exact trajectory of each projectile, allowing human ships to destroy them before they could reach their target. The Federation had never seen such precise calculations before. No matter how many bombs they launched, the humans were always one step ahead. The battle raged on, with the human fleet holding its ground. The Federation, which had once thought of humanity as nothing more than a nuisance, was now starting to feel the pressure. How could a primitive race, with little more than basic technology by their standards, hold their own against the might of the Federation? The Federation's leaders began to grow nervous. They had never encountered a species like this, one that could fight back so effectively and with such resolve. They had underestimated humanity, and now they were paying the price. But the Federation was not without its own secrets. As the battle continued to unfold, a new terrifying threat was revealed. A planet-destroying mothership, the size of a moon, was on its way to Earth. This colossal vessel, carrying a fleet of its own, was equipped with weapons capable of erasing entire planets from existence. The Federation's trump card had arrived. As the Federation's mothership hurtled through space, it cast a long shadow over the battlefield. Its immense size and firepower made every human ship look like an insignificant speck in the vast expanse of space. The Federation's commanders believed that once the mothership arrived, humanity would have no choice but to surrender. After all, how could humanity survive against such overwhelming force? But humanity wasn't done yet. The Federation had made a critical mistake. They had underestimated the ingenuity and determination of Earth's people. The AI warships, the drones, the orbital bombardment cannons. Humanity's innovations had already turned the tide of battle. Now, with the Federation's mothership on its way, the humans knew that the time to act was now. They had one chance to stop the Federation from destroying everything they had worked for. And so, with a sense of urgency and resolve, humanity began to prepare for the final confrontation. The commanders and soldiers knew that this would be their greatest test, but they also knew that they could not allow the Federation to destroy their home. The fate of Earth rested in their hands. The battle was far from over, and the stakes had never been higher. As the Federation's mothership approached, the humans began to make their final preparations. Ships moved into position, and new strategies were devised. Every weapon, every ship, every piece of technology would be used to protect Earth from the impending destruction. The Federation might have the firepower, but humanity had the heart, and it was that heart that would drive them to victory. In the coming hours, the final battle would begin. Earth's survival was on the line, and humanity would fight to the last breath to defend it. The Federation may have thought they had won, but they were about to learn that they had made one fatal mistake. They had underestimated the power of humanity, and now they would face the full fury of Earth's wrath. The moment the Federation's massive mothership arrived, Earth was cast into darkness. The colossal craft blocked out the sun, its imposing size casting a shadow over the planet. The atmosphere trembled as the ship's weapon systems powered up, ready to unleash destruction, unlike anything humanity had ever seen. The weapon charge, its ominous hum reverberating through the very air. It was a signal that Earth's final stand had arrived. The Federation believed that once the weapon fired, humanity's resistance would be shattered, their last hope extinguished. But humanity was not ready to give up, not without a fight. As the mothership loomed larger in the sky, threatening to obliterate everything in its path, humanity's leaders and military commanders gathered in a dark, quiet command center. They knew that there was no turning back now. The stakes had never been higher. The entire fate of Earth rested in their hands. If the mothership's weapon fired, it would destroy everything. Cities would crumble. The last hope of humanity would be gone. But if they could somehow disable it, if they could strike at the heart of the beast, they might still have a chance. A daring plan was quickly devised, a plan so dangerous, so suicidal, that only the bravest would volunteer for the mission. The only way to stop the mothership was to infiltrate it, to breach its hull, and to destroy its core from within. It would be a one-way mission. There was no guarantee of success, and the chances of survival were slim. But there was no other option. The humans had no choice but to fight back with everything they had. With grim resolve, a squad of elite human soldiers was selected. These soldiers weren't just ordinary fighters. They were the best humanity had to offer. They were equipped with prototype exosuits, advanced armor that enhanced their strength and agility. These suits were humanity's latest technological marvel, capable of withstanding extreme conditions and providing unmatched protection. The soldiers' mission was clear: infiltrate the mothership and destroy its weapon core before it could unleash devastation on Earth. As the soldiers suited up and boarded their stealth ships, the gravity of their mission weighed heavily on them. They knew they were walking into the unknown, and that they might never return. But they were ready. Each of them carried the weight of Earth's survival on their shoulders. They were not just fighting for their lives. They were fighting for the future of humanity. The stealth ships launched from Earth's surface, soaring into the vastness of space, heading toward the massive mothership. Their cloaking technology made them invisible to the enemy sensors, allowing them to approach undetected. As the ships drew closer to the mothership, the soldiers braced themselves for what was to come. Inside the mothership, the battle for humanity's survival was about to begin. The soldiers breached the hull of the ship and infiltrated its interior. As they made their way through the dark corridors, the tension was palpable. Every corner held a potential threat. Every door could open to reveal an enemy soldier. They moved quickly, silently, knowing that time was running out. Suddenly, The silence was broken. Alien forces, alerted to the breach, engaged the human soldiers in close-quarters combat. The air was filled with the sounds of gunfire, the clash of metal, and the roar of alien creatures. The humans fought fiercely, using their advanced exosuits and nanite grenades to break through the alien defenses. The battle was chaotic. Each room they entered was a new fight for survival. There was no time to think, no time to hesitate. Every second mattered. The humans pressed forward, determined to reach the heart of the mothership. They fought through wave after wave of alien soldiers, their weapons clashing with alien technology. The exosuits allowed the humans to move faster, stronger, and more efficiently than the aliens expected. But the aliens were relentless, and the battle was taking a toll. Soldiers fell, one by one, their final moments marked by their sacrifice for Earth. The screams of the fallen rang in the ears of the survivors, but there was no time to mourn. The mission had to continue. As the squad reached the mothership's core, the leader of the group, Captain James Parker, made a difficult decision. He knew that they didn't have enough time to set up explosives and escape before the weapon activated. The core had to be destroyed immediately, and the only way to do that was to sacrifice himself. With a heavy heart, Captain Parker turned to his squad and gave them his final orders. "We've come this far. We can't stop now. For Earth, for all of us." With that, he activated the self-destruct sequence on his exosuit and rushed toward the core. The explosion from his suit would destroy the weapon core, but it would also mean the end for him. As the countdown reached 0, Captain Parker's final words echoed in the minds of his comrades. "For Earth, for all of us." His suit exploded, and the core was obliterated in a blinding flash of light. The mothership shuddered as its primary weapon was destroyed. The alien forces, realizing that their plans had been foiled, began to retreat in panic. The explosion was felt throughout the mothership as it began to break apart. The soldiers quickly made their way back to the breach they had entered through. But the damage was done. The Federation's prized mothership was no more. The weapon that had threatened to destroy Earth was nothing but a smoldering wreck. As the alien fleets retreated, humanity stood victorious. The Federation, once so confident in their superiority, had been dealt a crushing blow. The aliens fled, terrified of the humans they had once considered nothing more than insects. The battle for Earth had been won. The cost, however, had been immense. Many brave souls had given their lives to protect humanity, and their sacrifice would never be forgotten. But their deaths had not been in vain. Earth had been saved, and the Federation's grip on the galaxy had been broken. Humanity had proven that even in the face of overwhelming odds, they could rise above, fight back, and emerge victorious. The final stand had been fought, and humanity had won. The Federation had made a fatal mistake in underestimating humanity's strength, resolve, and ingenuity. And now, the galaxy would remember the humans, not as weak, insignificant beings, but as fierce warriors capable of defeating even the most powerful alien empire. As the sun began to rise over Earth once again, humanity could finally breathe a sigh of relief. They had saved their home, and in doing so, they had proven that no matter how powerful an enemy may seem, they should never, ever make humans mad. The Federation had been broken. Their forces shattered, their mighty fleets destroyed, and their once unquestionable dominance over the galaxy reduced to nothing but a bitter memory. They had underestimated humanity, expecting the humans to fall under the weight of their advanced technology and superior numbers. Instead, they had experienced the wrath of a species pushed to the brink of extinction. Now, the Federation was humiliated, crippled, and desperate for peace. The alien leaders, who had once believed they could easily crush Earth, were now begging for mercy. The message from their high command was clear. They sought an end to the war. Their planet-destroying mothership had been obliterated, their forces decimated, and their confidence shattered. They had made a grave mistake, one that they could never undo. But Earth was not in the mood for mercy. Humanity had endured too much to simply forgive and forget. The Federation had crossed a line when they tried to destroy Earth, when they wiped out entire cities, and when they threatened the very existence of the human race. Now, the tables had turned, and the humans demanded justice for the pain and suffering caused by the Federation's aggression. A broadcast was prepared by the leader of Earth, standing before the world. His voice rang out, calm but resolute, across the galaxy. "We never wanted war," he began, his words carrying the weight of the entire human race. "But when you harm our people, when you threaten our existence, we will rise. We will not stand idly by. We will fight. And we will win. Let this be a warning. Never make humans mad." The message echoed across the stars, reaching the ears of every alien species who had ever thought of underestimating humanity. It was a clear declaration. Earth was no longer the weak, defenseless planet they had once thought it to be. Humanity was a force to be reckoned with, and anyone who thought otherwise would soon learn the hard way. The Federation, now a shadow of its former self, could only watch as humanity stood tall, victorious. The human fleets, once outnumbered and outgunned, now filled the skies. Warships, massive, powerful, and invincible, hovered above Earth, a symbol of human strength and resilience. These ships, once hidden beneath the surface of Earth, now took center stage, their sleek, intimidating designs a stark contrast to the alien forces that had once ruled the galaxy. Humanity, the underdog, had risen. The tables had turned, and the galaxy would never be the same. Earth was no longer just a small, insignificant planet on the edge of the universe. It was now a rising galactic power, one that no one could ignore. The Federation's attempts to dominate the galaxy had failed, and humanity had emerged victorious. Their message was clear. If anyone dared to threaten Earth again, they would face the full might of the human race. In the aftermath of the war, the galaxy was left to reflect on the lesson humanity had taught. The Federation had been so sure of its superiority, so convinced that their technology and power would crush any opposition. But humanity had proven them wrong. The Federation's arrogance had blinded them to the truth. The human spirit was something they could never defeat. An alien historian, once a member of the Federation, sat down to record the events that had unfolded. With a solemn tone, he spoke into his recorder. "We thought them weak," he said, his voice tinged with awe. "We thought we could crush them easily. But humanity is not what we believed. They are a storm, unpredictable, unstoppable, and unforgiving. We thought we were the pinnacle of civilization, but now we see the truth. The humans are a force unlike anything we've ever encountered, and we can only hope they never turn their attention to us again." His words were not just a reflection of the past. They were a warning to any who might think of challenging humanity in the future. The Federation had been humbled, and the galaxy would never forget the rise of the human race. As the historian's recording ended, the camera zoomed out to show Earth in the distance, a beautiful blue planet floating in the vast expanse of space. The warships continued to hover above it, a reminder of the fierce struggle humanity had endured. But the skies above Earth were not dark with the shadow of destruction. They were filled with light, hope, and the promise of a new era. On the surface of Earth, life was returning to normal. The scars of the war were still fresh, but humanity had proven its resilience. People rebuilt their homes, honored their fallen comrades, and moved forward, stronger than ever. The Federation may have thought they could destroy Earth, but they had underestimated the power of the human will. And now, humanity was more united than ever, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. In a quiet moment, a young human child stood outside, looking up at the stars. The night sky was clear, and the distant twinkle of stars seemed to hold a new meaning. The child had grown up in the shadow of the war, but now the future seemed full of possibility. The child's eyes sparkled with wonder as they gazed at the vastness of space. "What's next?" the child asked, their voice filled with curiosity. A nearby adult, perhaps a parent or a mentor, smiled and placed a hand on the child's shoulder. "We're ready for whatever comes next," the adult replied. The words carried the weight of a future that had been won, a future where humanity stood strong and ready to face any challenge. The child nodded, their gaze still fixed on the stars. The universe was vast, full of unknowns, but the human race had proven that no matter how vast or powerful the enemy might seem, they could rise above it. They could stand strong, and they could win. Humanity had fought for its survival, and it had emerged victorious. But more than that, it had proven to the galaxy that the human spirit could not be broken. It was a spirit that would endure, no matter the odds, no matter the cost. It was a spirit that would take humanity to the stars and beyond. The closing scene zoomed in on the stars, the camera pulling back as the music swelled. Earth stood strong, its future uncertain but full of promise. And as the credits began to roll, the words of the human leader from earlier echoed one last time, a powerful reminder to all who would listen: never make humans mad. For humanity was ready for whatever came next.